Hey guys, welcome back to Inverted Adventures RC, and we are moving on to the next episode of the Team Associated B74.1d four-wheel drive buggy build. Check it out. Hey guys, welcome back to Inverted Adventures RC. I am going to sum this up real quick and explain it and then move on. So this will be episode 7. And basically, these videos take entirely too long to record. The 10 to 15 minute videos that you guys have been watching take me at least an hour and a half to do till I record it, make sure everything's done right, all that stuff. So it's just taking entirely too long. I need to get this done for Trevor. I need to get it done because I need to work on some motor projects. So what I'm going to do for these last couple videos, I already have some work done. I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step of what you're to do, but I'm not going to show all the work because it's just taking entirely too long to record and do and get this buggy done. So I need to get this done so I can get it back to him and so I can move on to some other stuff. So this is going to be bag 7, bag 8, and bag 9 because that's what I have done. And then I'm going to move on and keep working and then make another video when I'm finished with that. So we're going to jump into it here, so stick around. So bag 7 is going to be the front steering knuckles and axle shafts and stuff like that. So what you do is you take these outer pieces, and this is what threw me off here. There's going to be a thick shim and a thin shim, or not shim, what do they call them? Hat bushings. There's a thick one and a thin one that goes in each side in between the steering block itself and the caster block. And that bushing comes in this bag that has the sway bars in it, and it's got the rear hubs and some set screws and those. So I was thrown for a loop for probably 20 minutes trying to figure out where those little pieces are, whether the kit was missing them, and it wasn't. They're just in a bag, and it doesn't really tell you that in the directions. So you have to look in the bag that has these sway bar links. So you put all that together, make sure the thick one goes on top, and you'll use the longer screw, and then the thin one on the bottom and the shorter screw. I believe it is the, let's see here, the 3x14 in the top and 3x12 on the bottom. Loctite because this caster block is aluminum. Jam that together. The 6mm ball studs go on the top because there's 8mm and 6mm. The 8mm go on the little steering block here. So you're going to run that down, put those together. Then you're going to take your axle, you're going to build one for each side. Make sure when you do the steering, one of them, flip it upside down so that your ball studs are on the top on both sides. And then you're going to take, they are the 74mm axle shafts, and your little pin insert and the pins, kind of like we did with the front and rear differential. That little piece goes inside, you grease them up, slide the pin in, and then there's going to be a little hub piece that slides into, and that's what locks that pin in. And then the hub, oh actually it's the CV axle, sorry. The CV axle comes through, and you're going to use the 5mm, and they say right on there, so it's pretty easy. 5mm and the set screw, and then that's how those are going to be put together. And then you just pop them in, and then there's a pin, like a king pin in the bottom, and or I guess they call it a hinge pin. So there's a hinge pin for both sides. There's a little notch on both of those pins. Make sure that notch is facing the rear because there's a set screw on both sides on the caster block. And what you do is you slide that pin through and then tighten down that set screw, and that's what holds those hinge pins in. And that is it for bag 6. And then you move on to, or no, sorry, take that back. That is it for bag 7, and then we're going to move on to bag 8. So moving on to bag 8, you're going to do the rear hubs. And so there's this little aluminum block and a pair of spacers, little 1mm spacers, and then they go on the inner side of the hub. Take your hub, put the bearings, I believe they are the 5x12 by 4mm bearing on the outside, and the 10x15 by 4mm on the inside. Same deal, they're the 66mm axle shafts for the rear, or CV bones is what they call them. I'm just going to call them axle shafts. Put them together, put some grease on the pins, and they're going to slide in that outer CV axle again. Same deal, through the hub itself, and then you're going to use the 6mm hubs here, which is what also comes in this bag with the sway bar links. And that's where you're going to find the hat bushings for bag 7. They're all in this package. So you're gonna go ahead and put those together, put them in the hubs, and then you're gonna put the hubs in here. And this side is different. It doesn't have the hinge pin like the front does. The rears have an actual bolt and then a lock nut, and you got to be careful. See, there is going to be a gap. You don't tighten that down. Don't go crazy on that because the threads run out and there's still a little bit of space between the lower control arm and that nut. So don't go crazy on that or you're going to mess up that bolt. And to build it to spec, there are 2 inserts that go in the bottom of the hub, one on each side. And there's one that's 1 and 2 and one that's 3 and 0. So for the 3 and 0, you're going to take both of those, and with the hole facing down, which is the plus 3 millimeter to rear axle height, you're going to slide that into these hubs before you put it all together. And then put them on there and bolt them up, and that is it for bag 8, and then we move on to bag 9. So moving on to bag 9, you're going to build all of these steering links. The first one you're going to do is the Servo Link. Now there's 4 different size shafts, so sort them out. There's going to be one this size, 2 longer ones, sorry, there's 3 sizes. 2 longer ones, 1 shorter one, and then 4 that are kind of in the middle. You're going to build this is for your Servo Link, and they give you a size that these are supposed to be on the inside. So you got to make sure, once you've twisted them on there, so that your alignment, everything is right. You get them, this one says 15, I got 14.9 there, so I might have to move it a half a turn or so, but make sure you're measuring all these. So the Servo Link is going to be 15 millimeters inside, and you're using the shortest turnbuckle. And then move on to the, what were the next ones? The front upper links. So you're going to use the 3x42 turnbuckles, and then 2 of the straight ball cups. Put them together until they are 22.3. So make sure you got your digital caliper. I got 22.3 and 22.3. So those are going to be your uppers, and you're going to build 2 of them. Just the cups are going to be offset because they're going to be opposite sides. And it's very important. Where'd my steering link go? I just set that down. There it is. So all of these turnbuckles have a little notch on them, and I don't know if you'll be able to see them on camera, but there's a little engraved notch on one side. Make sure all of those notches are facing to the left, because that's going to tell you which one or which direction is left-handed thread. So every one of these links, front and back, you're going to turn them in the same direction to do your adjustment. So if you want to move them out, you're going to move them the same way. If you want to move them in, you're going to move them opposite that. But they're not going to be opposite all throughout the car. So they're oriented the same way all the way through, and that's going to make your adjustments and tuning later on way easier than if you don't do that. So you do these upper arms, and then next you're going to move into the steering links, and it's going to be a straight ball cup on one side, and the angled offset is like on a 45 on the end. And you're going to use the same size turnbuckle as you did for here, so they're going to be 3x42, and put them together. Make sure they're 20.8 on your digital caliper. I got 20.8 and 20.8, and then that's going to connect your steering. So slap them on there, and you're getting close to done with the front suspension. Pretty sure it's just shocks after that. Then you're going to flip around to the back of the car, and you're going to use the longest, the 3x45 turnbuckles, and some straight ones. And the measurement for the inside distance on these is going to be 25.2 and 25.2. So get them slapped on there. Again, make sure all of the notches are facing to the left. Driver side, I'd like to think of it driver side, passenger side. If you're sitting in the car, I'm a mechanic, so that's the easiest way for me to remember that. It's pretty helpful. You're going to have all that oriented to the left, the notches. Build your front, build your rear, put them together, and that is bag 9. So this video is going to end right there. That's going to be bag 7, bag 8, bag 9. Again, it's just going to be, it's taken me entirely too long to try and do these videos showing you step by step as I go. So if it's just going to be easier and quicker, the videos won't be as long for me to do the work and then walk you through how you're going to build it and what to do next. And anything that I've found, like trying to find those hat bushings in this bag that was not labeled bag 7. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. If you like the way that I'm doing this instead now, let me know. If you don't, I'm sorry, but that's just the way I'm going to finish this build out. I need to get it done to get the car back to Trevor, and I've got so much other stuff to work on, so I want to kind of get this finished up and move on. So I'm going to move on to bag 10, which is going to be the diff and the motor plates and stuff like that, and then build the shocks, and we are just about done with this buggy. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Please subscribe, like the video if you like it. If you hate the way I do this, or decided to do this video and the rest of them, let me know in the comments. I mean, feedback is feedback, so whether it's good or bad. Until next time, guys, I will see you later.